Another cool project here at D-Lab Electronics. This time I have a Kendrick model new JoyZee amplifier. This was a kit. The guy built it years ago and he said it has always been noisy and has such a hiss that it can't even be played at low volumes. Let's see if I can make that better. So as I stated, this was a kit. Understand they only made about 100 of them. The owner that designed these has passed away, so there's not too many left. It has what looks like a homebrew eyelet board. The design is very close to a Fender Deluxe. There's no rectifier tube. They diode rectified like a Marshall would be. There's the sockets for the 6v6s. Those look like those ceramic Chinese type that I'm not a big fan of. Wiring is not the best. I'll zoom in here and take a look at some of the connections on these sockets. There's excessive solder. All that will have to be cleaned out before this amp can safely be operated. I do see some globs that are getting dangerously close to the chassis. Alright, let's look at it from another angle. We're going to start over here by the power transformer. You can see the control lineup, and there is a brass ground plate like Fender did, which I was very happy to see. I don't like the fact that these caps kind of hang in the breeze with jumpers. It's strange that those weren't incorporated to the eyelet board. It looks like there's been some shielded cable routing to try to reduce noise. I do not have the schematic or the layout diagram. I asked the customer if maybe by chance he still has it. That would be a big help. Here we are top side. You see they got a decal on their power transformer and output transformer. I don't know who actually made them. I don't think Classic Tone was around back in those days. So yes, these are those ceramic Chinese sockets that I have a high failure rate with. These sockets here look okay. That looks like a standard Fender reverb transformer. Look at all those filter caps. I mean, they really did some filtering, which is a good thing. Should be an interesting amp to work on. The guy really wants this thing to be playable. I'm going to do the best I can. And here's all the tubes and the cover for the caps. I'm going to go ahead and get the tubes installed and let's see how noisy this thing is. Okay, for the initial power up, I'm going to be bringing her up on a variac and monitor the bias voltage on my little multimeter. Make sure nothing blows up. Alright, the amp is powered. Got about 20 millivolts on the output tubes, which is fine. But listen to that buzz. I've got the volume all the way down on both channels. Now watch when I increase. The buzz goes down, but the hiss comes up. It's really bad on the clean channel. So that to me sounds like filament hum. And that very well could be the case. Let me turn this off. If you look at the filament wiring, that looks pretty bad. So the first step, I'm going to remove those ceramic sockets that already have terrible solder connections, and I'm going to pull all this filament wiring out and rewire with nice twisted pairs as you would see on a Fender amp. So you might be wondering, what am I going to replace those ceramic sockets with? Well, I happen to have a whole batch of these vintage tube sockets, mostly cinch, but these are made by Elco. They're military grade, never been used. They're beautiful. This amp deserves a good set of output tube sockets. So while I'm rewiring the filaments, we're also going to get the high current wires off of this lamp holder assembly. I think that this is a bad deal. I like to swing these over on their own little terminal board feed the filaments, and then come over to the lamp with 22 gauge wire. All this gigantic Chinese wire that you see throughout this amp is going to disappear. We're going to end up cleaning her up. So I removed the old sockets. You can see our output transformer primaries. Got my filament lines. I need to land a terminal board. There's the old sockets. And there are the new beauties going in. Here's a little progress update. Got the new sockets installed. They're all wired up. I have a terminal board now where the filaments land. You see the little 22 gauge wire that goes over to the lamp. This is the wire coming from the power supply filter caps. That is the screen feed. So it comes up here. There's also a choke. They meet, and then that goes up and feeds pin 4 through those 1K resistors. It's looking good. Next, I gotta pull all this old filament wiring out, try to clean those sockets up the best I can, and then we'll test. Okay, I've got the rest of that gigantic filament wiring pulled out of the amp. Now I'm rewiring the 9-pin sockets. To make this easier, guys, make yourself some little 22 gauge jumpers. So this is going to loop over between pins 4 and 5. I just use standard hookup wire. Loop it around the terminal, hold this in place, solder it, cut it, bend it over. It makes wiring these sockets so much easier. I got the filaments all wired back up with twisted pair. This is the mil spec silver Teflon wire. Let's go ahead and flip it on. See if we got buzz. I'm hoping not, but more than likely we still do. That's the nature of the beast, isn't it? So the owner told me, and there's a buzz, that he got on some forums and they said, yeah, all these amps are noisy. I don't believe that, because this is a Fender deluxe design and theirs aren't noisy. So hear that buzz? Got the same thing going on. So the next step will be to eliminate these runners coming off the eyelet board, because I'm sure, as you can see by the routing, they're picking up noise. And the one that caught my eye was this yellow wire. It's right next to the filament pin. And watch. Hear it? See, it gets worse. It's because it's right next to it. Fender always looped wires and one at right angles around the sockets. So, I got my work cut out for me. It's time to start changing the runners. So, a little update. I was looking at the soldering to the back of these pots, which is never a good idea. That's why you have a brass ground plate. Took my X-Acto knife and I was able to pop those right off the back of the pots. They were not bonded properly. I'm sure every one of these connections are the same way. So I'm going to take a little time and get these grounds off the back of the pots, solder them to the brass plate, see if that makes a difference. Alright guys, remember that white wire that I was pushing around on this tube socket and I could make the noise higher and lower? I decided, hey, how about I just remove that wire and run a piece of shielded cable in its place. So the amp is on. Both volumes all the way down. The buzz is gone. Still have some white noise on the high gain channel, but that's to be expected. But that terrible buzzing is gone. So I believe what was going on, there's two things. Number one, that wire was way too close to the filaments. Number two, it's coming here and it routed underneath all these parts and then up to the socket. And I believe it was picking up noise on the way. So using the RG174 coax solved that problem. Here's an update on the Kendrick amp project. As you know, installing the coax going to pin 7 of the reverb makeup amp solved the buzz issue. I've also seen some buzz in Fender amps. So you guys could use this same trick. Rather than the single conductor wire going under the eyelet board, try adding a shielded cable. Here is how it's terminated. And then you simply take her up to pin 7. Made a huge difference. I also added terminal boards down here to support those floating components. That was a lot of fun, but I was able to get them in there. And I've cleaned up a lot of cold solder joints, rerouted some wiring. So the output transformer wiring primary, the blue line, was down here. And it was actually underneath the grid resistor, which is not really a good thing to do. So you want to keep those signals separate. Then, when I powered it up and was initially testing it, I found that the bass, mid, and treble on the lead channel had almost no effect. And guess what that was? Another bad connection of a ground soldered to the back of the mid pot. So that's all been swung down now onto a terminal board, which is bonded to the brass plate. Once again, guys, don't ground your controls to the back of those pots. That material was not meant to be soldered on. Okay, let's test this thing. Well, here's a recap on all the actions performed on this JoyZee amplifier. Removed those ceramic Chinese sockets and installed these beautiful 60s Elco military type in its place. Cleaned up a lot of wiring, redid the filaments, added a terminal board to line the filament circuits on for distribution. Got a lot of the wiring bundled up and away from the tubes to reduce noise. I added grid stop resistors to the volume and input lines going to the tubes. Rewired a lot of the sockets. Got that big cumbersome Chinese wire out of the way. She looks pretty good now. I added some terminal boards for those floating components to land on and secure them. Redid all the grounding to the brass ground plate. Turned out good, and now it's pretty much noise free. I think the owner's going to be super happy. Okay, I got the filaments on, volume's all the way down, set of controls midway, reverb is all the way down. There's my reverb tank. Here she comes. Remember that terrible buzz that was there? Remember we had excessive hiss on these controls? It's nothing compared to what it was. So as usual, I have to use a looper for an input. So I'm sorry guys, I'm just not there yet, but at least let you see the amp performing. Now this amp has a thing called Texas T, which is actually kind of an extension of treble. And that's working. That was one of the things that the owner said wasn't working. Here's a reverb. So that's all good on the clean channel. Here's a lead. High cut. She's a screamer, man. That lead channel has a lot of gain. And that was obviously one of the issues that was causing the excessive hiss. But cleaning up wiring and getting things secure and grounded made all the difference in the world.